Effects of air pollutants, part 3. All the gaseous pollutants cause severe damage to respiratory system, but the adverse effects of carbon monoxide are unique. Carbon monoxide, when inhaled, passes through the lungs and diffuses directly into the bloodstream, where it combines with the red blood corpuscles of hemoglobin, forming carboxyhemoglobin. The affinity of carbon monoxide for hemoglobin is 210 times greater than that of oxygen. As a result, the amount of hemoglobin available for carrying oxygen for body tissues and lungs is considerably reduced. The body tissues are thus deprived of their oxygen supply, and death may result by asphyxiation, that is, by lack of oxygen. In addition, the presence of carboxyhemoglobin in the blood retards the dissociation of remaining oxyhemoglobin. As a result, the tissues are further deprived of oxygen. The equilibrium levels between the oxyhemoglobin and the carboxyhemoglobin are not established instantaneously. It may require up to 10 hours before the maximum level of carboxyhemoglobin in the blood is attained. This time span can decrease considerably with increase in physical activity. The table shows the relationship between the percentage of carboxyhemoglobin in the blood and its effect on individuals. When the level of carboxyhemoglobin in blood is from 1 to 2%, it affects the behavioral activities of a person. When this level reaches between 2 to 5%, blood flow to certain vital organs is increased. This increase is for compensating for reduction in oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Detrimental effects on central nervous system may occur. When the level of the carboxyhemoglobin in the blood reaches to a percentage between 5 to 9, cardiac and pulmonary functional changes may occur. When this level further increases between 10 to 20%, labored respiration starts during exertion, headache may occur, reduced mental acuity may occur. When this level is further increased between 20 to 30%, the effect it causes headache, nausea, visual acuity. On further increase between 30 to 40%, it causes severe headache, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, fatigue. On further increase up between 40 to 50%, slurring of speech takes place and tendency to collapse may occur. And if it is increased beyond 50%, convulsion occurs, and finally fatal coma if this is not treated. The chronic effects of carbon monoxide are not fully known, but they induce heart and respiratory disorders. While carbon monoxide itself has not been found to be carcinogenic, it increases the carcinogenic effects of other air pollutants by inhibiting the mucociliary clearance mechanism in the lungs. Carbon monoxide poisoning can be cured by exposing the affected person to fresh air, whereby the reverse reaction occurs in which the carboxyhemoglobin combines with the oxygen and forms oxyhemoglobin, and carbon monoxide is given out. Traffic policemen at busy street crossings during heavy traffic rush hours are advised to use oxygen tanks in developed countries. Vitamin C is also capable of preventing up to 50% of the damage caused to white blood corpuscles in smokers. Carbon dioxide is non-toxic and is utilized by green plants during photosynthesis. Excess of carbon dioxide stays to the troposphere and prevents infrared radiations from escaping into the outer space by deflecting them back on the earth, thereby causing greenhouse effect or global warming. Carbon monoxide, on the other hand, at higher levels of up to 100 to 1000 ppm, causes leaf curling, leaf drop, reduced leaf size, and interferes with the cellular respiration of plants. The nitrogen fixing ability of bacteria in clover roots is also inhibited when they are exposed to a carbon monoxide levels of 2000 ppm for 35 hours.